Hello and welcome everyone, Lanhart here with an update for the Cymru Let's Play of Total War Saga Thrones of Britannia. So, I loaded up the game today, loaded up the save from the end of the last episode, expecting to just jump straight on in and record part 34 today. However, I was greeted with this notification that there's been another update for the Allegiance update, which obviously I'm currently opted into as the public beta that's available via Steam. Now, it's actually not the information in this little notification box that caught my eye, but rather the minus 1,403 food that we now find ourselves at. If I hit end turn, the bar will drop from food surplus to massively in the red, where there'll be lots of public order issues, minus 10 public order everywhere. And that, as you can see, is because buildings now offer, or rather don't produce any food. We're actually at a negative through what buildings produce. It's now minus 295. At the end of the last episode, we were at plus 1,600 in the green for buildings. Now that's because there's been a beta 2 update for the public beta of the Allegiance update, which I've opted into. And that has basically overhauled food production in the game. Basically now, a lot of buildings reduce food production, so things like tool foundries, minus 30 food production from them, whereas before they didn't. But also various commerce buildings now eat away even more of your food production than before. And I think some food buildings have had their amounts lowered a little bit. Now, I don't really know where to go for the future of this campaign, because yes, I can try and crank the taxes up. However, CA have actually lowered the amount of food production you get on high and very high taxes. At very high, instead of plus 25%, it's now plus 15%, and at very high, instead of plus 50%, which it was before, it's now plus 30. If I go up to plus 30 food production, we're definitely gonna have some public order issues. Now, I appreciate that the way that public order works in Thrones mean that there's actually, well, it says minus 17 public order. It's actually only 17% chance that a rebellion will spawn, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but it would mean that I'd have to bring all my armies back from the north, or probably disband most of them and rebuild them down in the south to potentially deal with rebellions that might spawn. Just because even if on the low chance that a rebellion does spawn, if it takes out a settlement, that's really going to impact my food production even more. So I'm not sure I should even try and take that risk of causing public order issues. So even if we load things down onto high, which doesn't cause as much problem across the board, there's still obviously a few areas where there are very low chances of public order, well, not very low chance of public order, but very low chance of rebellions spawning. But yeah, even if we just lose one or two of these settlements, that could massively impact our food again. And if we have things on high food, then we're still at minus 739. Obviously, we can disband some armies, but that's really going to slow our progress up in the north against the Danes. I mean, we grab this army, goodbye. This army, goodbye. We could get rid of Run's army over here because he's only a level 1 general and the others are level 10. So that brings us to plus 31 food again. But the thing is, we're going to need to start spending a lot of our money into producing more food. We'll probably need to go through most of these market settlements actually cancelling all of those upgrades, because can't afford the extra hit to our food production. I might even need to go to places like Gloucester and maybe lower the level of some of these buildings so it doesn't hit our food production as much. Which I think our economy would still be fine, because obviously we've got rid of some armies. But do we really want to do that to the campaign? The thing is even if I wanted to rebuild basically every single province, or at least a few settlements, to try and tackle the massive changes in the beta 2, it's going to take 10 turns to convert some of these buildings. Even if we drop the, drop them down one level, we've still got to wait a turn or two to start working on that, which basically means our conquest of the north is halted. I definitely need to see if we could seek out a peace with the Danes. It's insulting at the moment. I mean, maybe I can throw money at them. We've got a lot that we can actually throw at them right now. Oh, sorry, that was demanding if I offer them that. Okay, offer them all the money that I currently have. They're not interested. So we'd basically probably get the Danes pushing south against us even if I pulled my armies back. I'd probably have to it'd probably be better for me just to disband all armies and allow the Danes to push south a bit and rebuild back up. Maybe even as far south as Lodis, and then just hold them there. But, do we really want to do that to this campaign? That's what I'm struggling with. I haven't created a straw poll yet. I might well do that, though, on another update video, perhaps later this week. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Obviously, well, this is what I get for, signing into a beta build. But the thing is, even if I revert out of the beta, one, I'd actually have to go back to the start of part 31 because none of the save games that I've made since enabling the Allegiance update beta will load if I opt out of it, because obviously there's new buildings and new mechanics that are being added in. It just crashes the game if I try and load them up. So I can't, just roll back the build of the game out of the public beta for the Allegiance update and carry on from the end of part 33. I'd have to go back to the start of part 31, which would be fine. However, that's kind of only a temporary fix, because at some point this Allegiance update is going to come out of beta and be pushed out live as the current version of the game, at which point my game will update, and then I'll be at minus 1,400 odd food. I mean, we could roll back to part 31 without the Allegiance update and just from there try and start preparing our settlements a little bit earlier, but I kind of feel that's going to kill the momentum going forward for this campaign, because we'll essentially have to spend probably parts 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38 maybe. We're going to have to spend probably between 10 to 30 turns in game retrofitting all of our provinces again in preparation for the Allegiance update when it eventually launches. The only other alternative would probably be to effectively call it a day on this campaign and host a faction vote for me to start another Thrones of Britannia Let's Play with the Beta 2 Allegiance update, and then obviously build our provinces from the ground up with all of the tweaks and changes to food from the very start of a campaign with a different faction. So yeah, as I said, I haven't done a straw poll. I'll probably take a look at all the comments you guys give on this video, and let me know, do you want me to try and tough it out, to try and do what I've essentially just messed around with here to see if we can keep this campaign going with the Allegiance Beta 2 update, which is likely to be, the final version of the game in, I guess, maybe a week or two's time when they push it out of beta? Or do we call it a day on the campaign and start another one with a different faction? Obviously, I don't like ending campaigns before we can kind of complete them. Objective-wise, with this campaign, though, obviously we have completed a fair few of the victory objectives, so it's not like we haven't achieved that much. We certainly had a good campaign, but it would be annoying, I guess, to end things here when there's still a fair few things I wanted to keep doing. But yeah, as viewers, what are you gonna most enjoy? What do you want to sort of stick around to keep watching with this campaign? Do you think that it's it's just too many changes to make the rest of the gameplay going forward enjoyable, because I'll have to spend a fair few episodes trying to desperately modify provinces to fit around the tweaks and changes to this update? So do you want me to try and roll it back to part 31 without the public beta at all and just go from there? Because I don't know that if once CA release the Allegiance update, whether they'll offer a pre-Allegiance update version of the game. I mean, I can ask them, but there's no guarantee that they'd offer that just for one Let's Player that would like to keep his campaign going. Obviously, the beta's save game compatible if you want to opt into it, but if you opt out, the saves won't load anymore. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's a bit of a head scratcher, but I pass it over to you guys, my viewers. What should I do, basically? Stick it out and sort of tough it out and try and keep on playing, just having to disband a fair few of our armies and possibly deal with some rebellions, but try and tweak the provinces? Or do we say, you know, it's had its run, you know, obviously, usually updates are great and they add more features. I mean, they've added in this whole decree system, which looks really cool. It's like the right system for Warhammer 2. But, and I certainly think if I were to start a new campaign now, it would be probably a fair bit more enjoyable than the experience we've had so far. They've added in some more depth and they've changed things. But yeah, I do like to try and finish my campaigns where possible. So I'm at a bit of a loss. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I look forward to reading them, and I'll release another video by Friday of this week as to whatever I've decided by then. So yeah, apologies that it's not a full episode. But, yeah, look forward to hearing from you guys in the comment section. Till the next one, there will be another video of this on Friday regarding my decision on whether we're taking it forward or not. Ciao for now.